Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Haven't got the usual setup, but that's fine. We're going to have a brief look at my game week 7 and then we're going to go into my plans for game week 8. So, green arrow, small one, 2.5 million to 2 million. We had Henderson in goal with 3 points. As always, don't expect anything from that position, so that's absolutely fine. We had Gabriel with 2 points. That's slightly disappointing. I was expecting a clean sheet there. Southampton are bad, we know that. But, yeah, they managed to somehow get a goal. So, Gabriel comes away with just the 2 points. Pedro Porro, again, that was pretty disappointing. He hasn't been kind of as attacking as we've expected him to be as of late. But, and the Spurs defence, I mean, the numbers have been alright, but wasn't great against Brighton, so yeah, we get nothing there. And then Rico Lewis, first of all, he started, which was a good sign, and then he did manage to get an assist. Again, the City defence just seems to be conceding out of nowhere randomly, but yeah, we keep playing the fixtures, we keep playing the numbers, and Lewis got us 4 points, so it's not too bad. Then on to the midfield. Eze disappointed again. I did watch a bit of that game, and he was pretty good, to be honest. I mean, he could have quite easily scored. He had a few chances. I still think he's good, especially as obviously we saw Mateta didn't start, which is a very good sign. That means that Eze is going to be on penalties whenever Mateta isn't on the pitch, so that's good news. But yeah, I'll probably still keep him. I'll talk through it in a second. But Rodgers didn't manage anything, unfortunately. That game was a bit of a nothing game. It seemed like there was not much in it. I mean, Bruno also 3 points. Bruno did hit the crossbar, but apart from that, he didn't do a lot. Neither of them did a great amount, to be honest. The 0-0 was probably the worst result possible, given that Konza went off early. He was on my bench anyway, but I didn't have a defender from any team, so neither of those are great. And Bomo, again, he gets his goal. He just seems to be the talisman for Brentford at the moment. He's great. If you don't have him, then just get him. And then Saka, vice captain, 16 points. Slightly annoying. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see that I put a video where I was probably 60-40 in favour of Haaland for captaincy. So I was definitely considering Saka. Obviously wishing I'd gone there now, but I was never really on him as such, so I'm just glad I owned him because he is pretty low owned, I think. Havertz gets his goal again. Again, I think he was quite unfortunate not to get more. In the last 2 weeks, I think he's been pretty unfortunate. I plan to own him just for 2 weeks, so he'll probably be going this week. We'll talk about that in a second, but I kind of feel like I could have got more in the last 2 weeks from him, but it is what it is. He's got 2 goals in 2 games. And then we have Haaland, who blanked. I mean, if you told me that City were going to score 3 goals, then I would have captained him regardless. It's very rare that he doesn't get involved in a goal if they've scored 3 goals. So the decision wasn't a bad one, just unfortunate. But let's move on to my future plans now. Okay, so as you can see on screen, I have nothing in the bank. I have 2 free transfers, and I do plan to use at least one of them. My team at the moment has a 93% rating on Fantasy Football Hub and a 91% Game Week ranking. If you want to see what yours is, then check the link in the description. But I have Henderson in goal. Yeah, not the best fixture, but it's also not horrendous. Again, if you've watched these videos before, I don't expect anything from that position, so I'm just glad I'm only spending 4.5 million on it. I have Gabriel with Bournemouth. It's not the best fixture. Bournemouth have been pretty good this season, but also it's not the worst. Obviously, Arsenal defence is probably the best in the league, up there with City and Liverpool, so I am kind of hopeful of a clean sheet, but wouldn't be too disappointed if we didn't get it. Then we have Porro, who has West Ham, I believe. Pretty good fixture attacking wise, although, like I mentioned before, he's not getting in the same attacking positions as he was before. Hopefully that changes, but it seems to be a thing with Brennan Johnson when he's on the right wing, and then they've got Kulusevski in that right 8 position, that Porro doesn't get as far forward as much. And the West Ham attack isn't bad. It's more their defence that is struggling. So again, I'm hoping for an attacking return in that, really, because Spurs' defence isn't the best. Then we have Rico Lewis. His predicted points on here are lower because of expected minutes. But he has Wolves, which is obviously a fantastic game. If he starts, then he's absolutely great. Should be hopefully playing in that midfield position again. Hopefully Walker and Gvardiol play so that he's further forward. I think that might be a common theme with Rodri out. Hopefully it is. So I'll be playing him unless we get a leak that he's benched. Then we have Saka with Bournemouth. He is definitely a captaincy option, although it's probably unlikely I'll go there with Haaland's fixture, but there is a chance I'll move Saka out. I'll talk about the transfer plans once I've gone through the team. We also have Eze. Again, it's not the greatest of fixtures, but it's not the worst. I highly doubt I'll sell him. I think he's just a good pick, to be honest, so I will very likely be keeping him. We have Bruno Fernandes. Now, he's got a run of a few good fixtures. Obviously, he has been very, very disappointing this season so far, but I still think he's a good pick. He's on penalties, he is nailed for minutes, and he's got good fixtures, which is what we want. So, yeah, very, very likely I'll be keeping him, although I understand that most people will probably sell him. I've got Mbomo, he's going nowhere. He's absolutely fantastic. And then I've got Rodgers. Again, he just seems to be getting 90 minutes after 90 minutes at the moment. So all the time he's doing that, I'm happy. Havertz, he is probably on his way out. So I bought him two game weeks ago for the 2 weeks that have just gone. My plan was to then move him directly to Solanke. That plan hasn't changed as of right now. That is probably still what I will do. My plan was to always get at least one Spurs attacker, so he is an easy route to him. It doesn't really matter if I have to keep him if we get some sort of international break problems. Obviously, he's actually out of the German squad himself, but I highly doubt that will keep him out. To be honest, that seems like one of these fake injuries that we get. But if I have to keep him, then it's absolutely fine because he's got a good fixture this week. And then Haaland is my captain. I highly doubt that will change. As I mentioned, could move to Saka, but there's also a chance I'll move Saka out. So the transfers that I'm looking at are Havertz and Saka to Son and Solanke. The Havertz to Solanke move is the most likely one. Saka to Son is less likely, as obviously right now he's injured, but also I'm not that big on Son in this kind of formation and tactic that Spurs are playing. There's also a world where I go Saka down to Brennan Johnson so that I've got funds to move maybe Eze or Bruno up the following week, but I could potentially just do the Havertz to Solanke move. Either way, it will be Spurs players coming in. It will be Spurs attackers coming in, to be more specific. Apart from that, I think the team looks okay. I could even roll if I fancied it, but those are the plans. If you like this one, then do make sure you drop a like and make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.